Hello and welcome then to the video tour of my Honda S-Wing, or known as the FES125. This is a 2013 bike on the 63 registration. I think I'm the second, possibly third, but I'm pretty sure I'm just the second keeper of it. I bought it with 11,000 miles on it and it's now done 50,200. It's MOT'd until November 2019. And it's been an extremely good workhorse, a very good piece of equipment. The bike has basically been ridden around Bath and a few trips out to areas out of town, etc. But I've got an A license and I've got a 250 scooter which is over there, and a bigger bike, a 750. So what I'd like to do is just retire the Honda for somebody and use my 250, which has got a bit more grunt. But to be fair, if that bike over there, that silver one, if the engine from that was in this, I'd keep it all day long. It's just a little bit underpowered for what I really want these days. So what can I tell you about this bike? Well, I've looked after it and kept it up together since I bought it. I've done countless oil changes on it every time the oil light comes on, and I've just done one today. There's a new Michelin City grip on the rear as of today, and a probably about half worn one on the front. This S-Wing is incredibly comfortable. It's a really nice riding position. It's got the presence of a bigger bike than a 125, but it does power along quite happily up to 55 mile an hour or so. It's no speed machine, but it really is just exceptionally comfortable around town, and it's extremely usable. It has a cubby hole here, okay, and I fitted a USB 12 volt socket to go into the phone, crudely, but it's worked for over a year, so it still is fine. It charges up the phone, no problem. So cubby hole there. Let's go around the storage. Really nice big under-seat storage area here with a relatively new battery. Again, that was just put on there about 3 months ago, maybe less, but good battery. I can't remember what make it is. It's a Uaza, so it's a good branded battery. The screws for this are lurking in there somewhere. There's a light in here which works on the switch in there. Or I may have to have the ignition. Let's have a look. Can't remember. I think I've got the switch locked in there to stop the seat, because I like to just be able to flip the seat open without having to fiddle about with the locking mechanism. It's 12 volt power supply, that works fine. That's my little 12 volt display, or battery display. I'll keep that. Some kids came around and nicked the toolkit out of it at some point. Serves me right for not locking it, but there's a no toolkit. This box on the back was just a cheapo box. I've got a Honda sticker on it, but the reflector's cracked. But it's a good usable box. I disarmed the lock on that as well, so I can't be bothered to lock the keys in there and try and open it up all the time. Bit of a waste of time. So a good usable 52 litre box. Right, heated grips, working heated grips. Okay, brake lever's a bit bent on this side. Could do with a new one, but they're very cheap, about 6 or 7 quid. So she's got a few battle scars where it's fallen over. Has got a side stand and a centre stand, but the centre stand is missing its leg, so it's a bit of a faff to get it onto the centre stand, but it's doable with pushing down and then pulling up, so it's not the end of the world. It's got discs front and rear, and I have got another set of wheels which I used to have the tyres fitted brand new ready to go on when I wore the other ones out. The rear one is the original with the ABS sensors, and the front one is without an ABS sensor, so the ABS sensor light is always on, but it's not an MOT spec, but the ABS is disarmed as such at the moment. It does have the dual braking system. It has a cracked front mudguard, but I repaired that and it's held up very well now over a year like that, so that's all fine. and it's fallen over and scratched the bodywork and looking a little bit on the tatty side, but mechanically it drives really well. The dashboard is a really comprehensive dash. It does this nice little fancy thing when you start it up. It always returns about 19 miles, 19 miles to the litre. It's about 100 mpg on a run, but around town it's probably about 80. Nice big screen, great weather protection and wind resistance. The mirrors are a little bit wobbly, but they don't vibrate around. I fitted this little convex mirror there, or yeah, convex mirror, just for better visibility. So there's that. Brake pads I've always done myself. Rears are about half worn, front's about the same, so they weren't done about a couple of thousand miles ago, if that. 2 keys, books, owner's manuals. I think there's some receipts and stamps in the book, but as I say, since 2 odd years ago, I think it's coming up 3 that I've owned this. Yeah, it's coming up to 3. I've done all the servicing myself. Fitted rollers and a belt about, oh god blimey, about 10,000 miles ago I should think. Brake fluid reservoir, nice and clean on both sides. Brakes are nice and sharp. No, brakes on this are about twice as good as what they are on that Piaggio, that's for sure. Okay, so what are we talking about here? We're talking about a useful tool, 125, drive it on L plates and CVT, economical, it's Honda. They're about with 70 odd plus thousand miles. I think I met a guy who had 79 on his, and that was ages ago. They normally die because you get hit off or they get written off, but they have got up to, well, as far as I know, 79,000 miles was the highest one I've seen. There may be higher ones about, but you know, they're not a bad machine. The seat, I think, has the tiniest of holes just there. Yeah, there's a little bit of stiffness underneath there where it's worn through, but basically the seat and everything is okay. All this is all right. You've got your usual takeaway hook there. You get a phone holder, which is a bit busted up, but again, it's usable. You jump on this bike and probably ride it up to Scotland if you really wanted to. Bits of trim a bit loose, but still relatively stable. Should I keep it just as a spare? Well, you know, I mean, that's a question I would ask myself, but I do have 2 other bikes and a car, so we're going to offer it up for sale. Anybody interested, give me a shout and see if we can work something out. You know, throw a bucket of water over it, shine it up a bit, and it would be okay. Let's just fire up a moment. I did a starter motor on it as well about 15-20,000 miles ago, and that's fine. I disarmed the centre stand kill switch, it's still underneath there, just lurking around somewhere. This means I can prop it up without having to turn it off. Usual safety features with Honda, has the headlight on all the time. Lights are cracking, really good lights. And it just has a lot more presence. I mean, it's bigger the bike than my 250 there, but it just has good presence for a reasonable sized motor scooter. A little bit of damage to the bottom there. Came off a high curb, just managed to crack the rear of it there. It doesn't use any coolant. Cooling works perfectly. Uses very little oil. You cover about 2,000 miles or so and you're still about half on the dipstick, so you just need to check that out fairly regularly. So what have I missed? It's probably utterly boring, this video, but you know, it's just really just to show the general condition and to allow you a bit of information, more than pictures do, just to save you the journey of coming to look at it and going, oh, it's scratched up, and oh dear, what's all this? You know, we don't need any of that. We just want people to be well informed and coming to see a good mechanical condition motorcycle, which I reckon's got a fair bit of life left in it. I mean, listen to the engine. So the oil I've just put in it is Castrol Magnatec 530, which is a good quality oil, and I have used that most of the time. So as soon as that oil service light comes on, she gets changed. So as you see, the ABS light is on, and that's only because of the front disc not having ABS inner ring on it. So obviously it doesn't sense the ABS. But okay, there we are. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.